But I now believed that everything would come to a change, and it is obvious that AfD is the future. To me, we're sitting there, or like the monkeys mesmerized by the snake, and we are just waiting to see what the President of the US will do. AfD is not the party whose leader is received everywhere in Europe by prime ministers. But it is high time that that should be changed. We, as Alternative für Deutschland, have noticed that our relationships towards our direct neighbors have deteriorated, first and foremost, meaning Hungary, but also with our old partners, the great powers, the USA and China. Our and my primary goal is to repair and improve these relationships clearly, and that is the reason why I have traveled to your fabulous capital, Budapest. If the bureaucratic, expensive, and from my aspect, corrupt structure is demolished, and if these people should find a sensible job for them to start working so that they can have a sense of what the average working people feel like, and then they could probably understand what policies we wish to establish for the sake of Europe, because the policies that we wish to introduce would lead Europe to become strong again with a strong leadership. And the leadership would not be in the hands of an elected commission, not in the hands of Madame van der Leyen, who was not even elected. The decision would be in the elected parliament, and for that we need strong and willful nations. And I can promise to you that for us, the Alternative for Deutschland, for Germany, AfD, if we can form a government, we shall follow in the wake, follow in the footsteps of our role model, Hungary. We shall re-establish order in our country, and I wish to thank you for your sensible policy, for your fight for freedom, which you have performed for the sake of the freedom of the nations in Europe, and we shall happily follow you. I mentioned this to Madam President. It is of great significance of Hungary that we establish a good relationship with the government of Germany, the current government of Germany, regardless of its composition. So there is a level of the countries and the level of the parties, and I would never go as far as to demolish Hungarian interests over the party's interests. That's why I was cautious with AfD, but I now believed that everything would come to a change, and it is obvious that AfD is the future. The problem is that the heads and leaders of the European Union and the European institutions, as scared chickens, are just sitting low in the field, awaiting their fate. I mean, scared chickens have no future. We're sitting there, or like the monkeys mesmerized by the snake, and we are just waiting to see what the president of the US will do. This is the worst, though, that we can do, because the president will come and do things that will make us sweat. It will come and represent their own interests. We only have one option. We have to stand up bravely, with force, with self-assuredness, and provide recommendations for the Americans. Obviously, they would not like to see the imbalance of trade between US and Europe maintained, but we shouldn't just await the attack like the scared chicken. We have to stand up and say, we have a recommendation. We have 3, 4, 5 recommendations, and we have to start negotiations. The problem is who? The European institutions cannot be taken seriously.
What the changes in India's population and the differential growth rates.
This city has emerged.
We have a very special guest on the record.
The interview.
The role that the US side played at that point of time.
पूरी दुनिया की नजर.
Assume my phone is tapped. I can probably say hello to Mr. Modi.
आपके भारत पर है.
Episode of Know Your Candidate.
The rising confidence of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Communist China is the greatest threat.
There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists.
I'm still a little perplexed by why we...
Your daily dose of news from India and across the world. Cutting-edge views and analysis. Tune into HT videos. Click on the bell icon to subscribe.